can't get, and this is one of them. Here's what we're working on now. Bam! We I didn't. So here's a lesson learned. I've never had a problem with a harmonic bolt from a harmonic balancer. I've never had a problem with one breaking, and I bet I've done 100 of them. I've never broke one until today, but I broke that bitch right in half too. Just watched a video from who was it? Legally Armed America. I don't know why that dude shit comes up in my feed all the time. It does though, and I guess because I watch it when it does come up. Did a video. You know, this Carmelo Anthony kid. If you're not familiar with it, go research it. You'll be able to tell them. I'm not going to be able to explain the whole thing to you, but basically the rundown is this: so at a track meet, it's raining out. He's on the opposite side of the field, stadium, whatever as his team is, and he sits down under another team's team covering, so they get out of the rain, out of the sun, whatever. The kid tells me he needs to leave, and he tells the kid, pulls out a knife, tells the kid, "You touched me, and I'll basically fuck you up." Well, the kid touched him. So my position is, number one, kids are trying to get out of the rain. Who gives a fuck who sits under your umbrella? If you're in a high school and you can't tolerate a fellow athlete sitting underneath your school umbrella while it's raining out, your parents probably didn't do that great of a job with you. Number two, he warned the motherfucker. He told him not to touch him, and he did. Does mine too. Does your what too? But he warned him. So is it self-defense? I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there. I don't have all the facts, but the way they're dragging this kid through the dirt, not so much the kid, the way they're acting like, the Legal Art America said, if they were talking about, when he used to be in high school, as around the time they was phasing out paddling. He's talking about in the 80s. Motherfucker, I was in high school in the 90s, and they were paddling our asses still. Of course, I did grow up in East Tennessee, and how if he did something like this, his mama would be saying, "Yeah, go ahead and do whatever you think's right, take him off to jail." But that's why you're the way you are today, Mr. Legally Armed America. That's why you bow to the authority. That's why you are sure to toe the line and do as you're told, and you're a good little peasant and all that shit. And then they want to bring in this kid's quote-unquote minister and talk about his record, how he's a felon, and can this kid be around this felon? People that ask those stupid questions like that are the first ones with fucking opinions, the last ones that know anything about it. The only thing that dictates what that kid can do while he's out on bond, legally, you know what I mean, like legally, is his the stipulations of his bond. That's it. I mean, I was out on bond with an ankle monitor, so yeah, I was out on bond with an ankle monitor for 6 months. And my bond wasn't that, Nick, you have to go sit in the fucking house for 6 months. My bond is you got to be on this ankle monitor and you got to do whatever the PO tells you. So you know what I did? Whatever he told me. You know what that was? Don't fail drug tests. So I didn't fail any drug tests. You know what else I did? I didn't give a fuck. The ankle monitor was just there for show. I charged it up. When it was time to charge it up again, it beeped. I charged it up. And that's how we went on for 6 months. I was out. Whenever I wanted to go out, I went out. But the stipulation of those bonds, I mean, to ask that question to me, it's like they're bashing on this kid and this quote unquote minister for grifting for BLM, or the minister especially. But that's doing the same thing, in my opinion, for your side of the argument. And here's the thing: innocent until proven guilty. What happened to that in this country? I know what happened to it, because you're not really innocent until proven guilty. You're guilty until you prove yourself innocent, if you can, if you're fortunate enough to. And then now you don't even get a fair trial. You think this kid's going to have a fair trial? Fuck no. I'm in Camden, fucking Tennessee. Middle of nowhere. You can sit. Listen, you can sit out here and shoot machine guns all day long if you wanted to, all fucking day. You know who would show up? Maybe the neighbor to ask if he could shoot it. Possibly the neighbor. Most likely nobody. Happens all the time around here. I hear guns going off nonstop around here. One day we heard a full auto going off all day long. Never thought one time to call anybody. Never thought one time to do anything other than go ask them if maybe we could shoot it. But if I know about what's going on, and if I know anything about that case here, how does nobody know about it there? And now that that it's changed so much that now it doesn't matter if you know about the case. You just have to be able to sit there and say that you're not going to let your opinion dictate your guilty versus not guilty at trial when it comes to the case. Which anybody that says that is full of shit. As soon as you hear something, you form an opinion. Now, I don't know if the kid's guilty or not. By what I've heard, I don't know. I mean, from what I understand, if I tell you to keep your hands off of me, or some bad shit's going to happen to you, I mean, that sounds like a fair warning to me. I mean, maybe that's just me. Fair warning. You touch me, bad shit's going to happen to you, and then bad shit happens to you. But let's change it a little bit though. Now, you don't want to use the argument you had a weapon on school property, dude. Every student on every school property in this country today has weapons on them. Every last one of them. I've seen people get stabbed with pencils. I haven't seen nobody die from pencil stabbing, but you can clearly do it. If you can get a pencil through the skin, you can kill somebody. Maybe not as easy as a knife. I don't think it's a good argument though. He had a weapon on his. Maybe what happened prior to this? Something probably happened prior to this at a track meet. Maybe not with the kid he stabbed. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was another school. And he felt the need that he needed to protect himself. Maybe something happened in the locker room. I don't know. But what I do know is I feel bad for the family because they lost their kid, obviously. But the motherfucker was a punk. Your punk first told some other kid that he couldn't sit under their fucking umbrella during the rain. And then, when he was asked not to put his hands on somebody, he did it knowing the outcome was going to be that kid was going to do something to him. And most likely, like in most cases, and this is just really me guessing here. I don't know. I don't know the kid. But I would venture to say that if he didn't have an entire team of people that was on his team behind him, he probably wouldn't have said nothing to the kid for sitting there. Yeah, it is. Fuck yeah, it's a proper response. Who gets to dictate what the proper response is? You, who touches me? If I ask you not to touch me, and you touch me anyway, especially in today's world, especially when you have a group of people behind you that are with you, you're asking for it. You're asking for it. Who dictates what the proper response is? So let's use your logic, right? So your logic is stabbing somebody is not in the heart isn't the proper response to somebody touching you. Okay. Got a bug on my thing here. Somebody don't have their seatbelt on. They decide that they're not going to get extorted on the roadside today. Is the proper response killing them over it? Happens every fucking day in this country, or some shit like that. We don't stop it. When you enter my space, my space, I consider my space, my arms around me. Whatever I can touch is in my space. Whenever you enter my space, especially if I say stay the fuck out of my space, but you go a step further and you put your hands on me, do whatever happens to you is the right response at that point. When you were told, you're asking for it. You're asking for it. Did your mom ever tell you, keep your hands off other people? There's a good example of why you do. You fucking might wind up stabbed in the heart. And we don't know if he stabbed him in the heart. He might have got an artery or something. But to think, I mean, that's to get all the way to his heart, man, he'd have to really rock it, huh? I just don't agree. I just don't agree with it. You know, I don't agree with any of it. I don't agree with people putting bullshit out there, that, like, spinning the narrative in their own favor when it's just for views. Dude, the mosquitoes are being terrible out here. Hey, go get some bug spray, Silas. Some, like, bug spray, mosquito spray. Keep those fuckers away from us. And I'm not saying what he did was right, but I mean, it's not like he just pulled a knife out and stabbed the dude. That is something different. You're talking about something different doing to others. It wasn't a public beach. They were at a school function. No different than a high school football game. If you're at a high school football game and you're a team there, or a parent there for that matter, keep my arms and shit back of my neck, and get back of my neck.
Put your mouth.
And somebody comes to turn your umbrella. That's very different than sitting on a beach. You're talking about two way different situations, man. And you know what? You want to come sit under my umbrella at the beach? I'd throw you a beer. I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't tell you to leave. Not if you were, like, you know, you're being protected from the weather somehow. But it's a school function. I think a lot of people are missing that. It's public. School functions are not public sometimes. I don't know. It was a school function. There's a bunch of track teams. I don't know if you've ever been to a track meet. Usually track meets are more students, way more students than parents. And I mean, if you want to go that route with it, it's public, right? So he went and sat under a public umbrella then, right? Because that was the school's. It was the school's awning thing, or whatever you want to call it. It was public. So the dude that got stabbed had no right to tell him to leave. We can play that game too. Well, no, it was only public for the district it was in. That's not how it works. Public for one, public for all. The kid should have never told him to leave. And I'm not saying I agree with the dude stabbing him. I'm not saying that's what I would have done. However, if I would have been that kid and I said, do not put your hands on me, and then you put your fucking hands on me, you have to expect I'm going to do something back. And what I do back is up to me, not up to you. And that's what everybody's missing. Like I said, I'm not saying I agree with what he did. I'm just saying I don't think he's as wrong as everybody's saying he is. Now, if he would have just fucking walked up and stabbed the kid, or the kid would have said, hey, leave, and then he would have stabbed him, that would have been a little different. He literally told the kid, don't put your hands on me. If you put your hands on me, something's going to happen to you. As he reaches in a bag. What do you think he was going to pull out, a fucking lollipop? But it's not. My shit, my personal shit on a public beach is different than a school shit in a public venue. Completely different. Yeah, if a school is at a fucking beach with a big awning there, and I want to go up and sit under it, it's my awning. It's a public. The school is public if it's a public school. It may not be a public school, maybe a private school. I mean, if it's a public school when we play that game, then that's a public awning. That's not anybody's. It's the public's. Like I said, I'm not saying that I would have stabbed the kid, or I even think he was right for doing it. I don't think he murdered the kid, though. I don't think I'd go that far as to say he murdered the kid. I mean, if we're okay, let's do the same thing. If we're at a, go ahead, just take off. Where are you going? Let's take off and go that way. If we're at Yeah, I mean, the kid had no right to tell him to leave. If that's your angle, the kid had no say. Which the kid didn't have no say anyway. The kid wasn't the one there in possession of said awning. But here's my real question with all of it. Okay, fuck everything, all this shit we've already talked about. All these adults, coaches that are coming out saying, I seen this or I seen that or we watched it happen. Where the fuck were y'all at? You just going to let this kid to put his hands on this other kid? Is that how we roll now? It don't matter if it's a specific school name on the shit. It's still public, bro. Where do you think the school gets that money? It's public money. It doesn't matter. It's public. Just like I live in Camden, Tennessee. Guess what? If I go to fucking Claremont County, Ohio, I can go there and use anything that's public. I can go there and demand of the quote-unquote public servants anything that anybody there can. That's why it's called public. It's not called, Camden, whatever, public, Camden public, whatever. No, it's public. It don't matter if they had their name on it. It wouldn't matter. It's still public. If that's your angle. It's a bad angle to play, though. I just think it's how's a kid get a fair trial? Everybody's got an opinion about it. Most people do. I don't have an opinion about it, really. I don't agree with what the kid did, but I also don't agree with what the first kid did. I mean, in any other scenario, let's say that was a female with a knife. Let's say it was just a female with a knife. And if everything happened the same, would you feel the same about it? Female track girl from another school goes and sits down underneath the school's awning or whatever. And some dude tells her to leave. She says, nope. Put your hands on me, some bad shit's going to happen to you. And some dude touches her. Would you feel the same way about it for her stabbing him in the heart? I understand it was for a team that was competing and all that. I get it, bro. I get it. It does not change the fact. It's public. It's public. Now, if Mom Smith bought it for the team, and she wanted to put Mom Smith's awning on it, Mom Smith donated by Mom Smith for the team or whatever, that changes it up a little. If it just had the team name on it, it's still public. If that's your angle. I mean, you're wanting to have your cake and eat it too. You can't. You can't have your cake and eat it too in this situation. Public is public, period. End of story. If I wanted to walk down and sit under that team's awning, I could. It's public. Now, would it be, for me as an adult that's not in track, would it be the right thing to do? No. But I could do it, and they'd have no argument against it. What are they going to say? He's sitting on a public bench at a public function under our the awning that's owned by the public school, which is funded by the public, which makes it public. I don't know that it wasn't a chick with a knife. It may have been, bro. It may have been. I don't know. I don't know. But to listen to the hypocrites talk about it, it blows my mind. Just like that, man. I'm not saying you're a hypocrite by any means. But what I'm saying is you haven't even thought your own argument through far enough. I understand if it doesn't matter. Public is public. Period. There's no well, it's only public for these people. For only these people to use. It's still public. If you drive through Camden, these cops are supposed to, they're supposed to serve you like they serve all the other clowns that, I'm not saying you believe in them, all the other clowns that believe in them, although we know better than that. It's not, the public isn't broken up into sectors. It's not how it works. Especially when you're within a state. Not how it works. Public is public. But do you think the kid was right? The kid was right for telling the kid to leave. Let's just say, let's forget about that. But do you think he was right for putting his hands on somebody else who had harmed nobody or nothing? Kid wasn't harming nobody. He was just out of the rain. All he was just out of the rain. Who was he bothering? I'll tell you who he was bothering. He was bothering the kid that got stabbed's fucking ego. Was who he was bothering. I would like to know, like, what happened earlier in the day. Did the black kid beat him in a, did that school beat him or his school in some races? I don't know all that information. I would like to know it. But I don't agree with the systems we have in place now, where you cannot get a fair trial. You cannot get a fair trial. Show me 10 other people other than me who could legit get. Now, with that said, technically he wouldn't get a fair trial in front of me because I'd find him not guilty no matter what, because of the system itself. Not for him, but because of the system. Yeah, you should just be able to roll up and go inside of a school. Now they've changed that with all these locked door policies and shit. But guess what? Here's what you do: you walk up and you hit a button, and they ask you why you're there. Say, I'm a member of the community, which is any community, and I want to talk to the principal. I'm a member of the public. And I want to talk to the principal. You know what they're going to do? They're going to buzz your motherfucking ass right into the principal's office. Yeah, you can. Now they've made up laws that they don't want you walking around the school and doing all this other shit. Listen, I've done some pretty crazy shit at schools that people said couldn't be done. So don't want to go down that road with old Nikki. Nikki's done it. I've done a lot of shit in public they said that you couldn't do prior to YouTube. My kid got stomped out by all those kids at his school. Old dad was up in the school all the time walking around. Dad was up in school in school with my pit walking around. Actually, my son was going to start taking my pit to school. That's how we got him to change some things. Is I took the pit into school during school hours, into his classroom, and then warned them if they didn't stop what was going on that he was going to be bringing my pit to school. So yeah. Oh, so you can't you didn't get a got me button. It's not a got you. You can't. It's not like you can't do it. Yes, I can go to a school. It's a public school, and I can go in there. And you know what? I could drive down the fucking road and be doing nothing wrong, and they'll take me to jail. Doesn't make it right. Just because they run these fucking public school systems today doesn't mean that's how it's supposed to be, how it should be, or how it is. Yeah, you can go to it. There's a lot of schools you can still go to and walk around, bud. Not everyone's on lockdown. Not every school door is locked. If it's a public school, my money goes to it. I can be there. But they can trick you with putting puppy dogs. Come here, puppy dogs. Who got the light? Where's the light? My dogs freak out over lasers. Mom, you got the light? Mom, you got the light? Where's the laser? Diesel wants the light. Look at him. He's looking for the light. But you know what? They wasn't inside of a school at the time. That's where your argument fails. They wasn't inside of a locked door. Like I said, even inside of a locked door, you hit the button, they're gonna buzz your ass right in, unless you got a visible gun. Get the puppy dogs. Get the light. Yeah, I see these clowns running around for this laser. It's funny as shit. Christy takes them way out in the woods with the laser. 100 yards, I got them running. Oh, you can't see them. Get it, Deezy. Get the light, Deezy. Get it. Until we put it in the bed. Wear them out. Get it, Nova. Get the light. Get it. Get it. You've made your mind up about it. But you need to think your argument through a little better, I think. I don't think it's a good argument. It's like public roadways and driving. Show me another public entity or public infrastructure that you have to be licensed to use. More specifically, you have to license your own property to use, register your own property to be able to use that infrastructure. Ain't gonna happen. Doesn't make it right. Doesn't mean it's how it really is. This is what people have come to accept. People are willing to give up their, as a mass, because it's mob rule now, they're willing to give up their ability as the public to freely roam those schools and watch what those teachers are doing, for the quote unquote, for the safety of the children's, because it's always about the children's safety, always. Oh, my back's killed me. I'm getting old and fat. I gained too much weight in the past couple of months. I had to lose some weight. Stay away from the tasty cake donuts. That's all I can say. Look at that. That's weird. The ants. Oh, let's see if you can see it. The ants build a roadway. You hear that shit? Did you hear that big boom? You know how many people are going to come running? Not one. Ain't nobody going to give a shit that somebody's over there letting off their little blaster in the middle of the night. Almost not a felon. A couple more days. I'm halfway not a felon right now. We're about to be all the way not a felon. A few more days. Did you put that spark plug back in there? Yeah, he did. I wonder if this thing starts right up now. Something that went boom? What? It's all right. I just wanted to see if it start right up. I figured it would. All right, I gotta go. I got a crankshaft to drill out. I got broke off a fucking crank bolt in it. What? Nova Diesel, get inside. Diesel! Stupid dogs. Inside, Diesel. Get in there. Go, dummy. Nova's a good girl. Diesel's a bad dog. It's a bad dog. So, I just want to make sure I understand this. Hold on. We're gonna shut this off. Public football game. It's pouring down raining. I'm there watching the football game. I'm of the opposing teams. I'm on the opposing team side of the stands. I go to the concession stand to get something. It starts pouring down raining. And somebody's there with a awning from the other school. I don't have a right to stand under that awning that I probably paid for. You know. And what about the people that own land in multiple places? What if his parents own land in multiple places? What if they own land where he lives at, but they also own land where that school's at? Would that make you feel better about them paying for it? About the public side of it now? I don't know. Sidelines. Let's see, where you go. I didn't skip. I just can't see. I'm blind. No, well, actually, it depends what school you're at. Because I've seen schools where they're on the same side. The sidelines are on the same side of the field. I've played at schools like that before. Yeah, I mean, they split the teams up just for the game, for the sake of the game, for the two teams that are playing. Obviously, those athletes were not playing at the time. A track meet is different than a football game. Because if you go to a track meet, there might be 50 schools there. And it was raining, so nobody was doing track shit in the rain. At least I've never seen track ran in the rain, I don't think. Hey, Scarface, what are you doing? They probably are going to cook that boy. I don't think they should. I mean, I don't agree with any. I mean, here's, you know, let's say for the argument that he shouldn't have been under the public schools awning or whatever it was that may or may not have had their name on it. Let's just say that's true. But he did it anyway. And he sat down in the rain. And some punk said, "Hey, you need to get the fuck out. Get the fuck out of here." And he didn't. Okay. Now, using the whole logic that we're going down with this, it's public versus not public, which means authority versus not authority. So shouldn't the authority there have said something to the child? And they didn't. But more so, the kid told him not to touch him. If the motherfucker didn't touch him, if he didn't put hands on him, this wouldn't have happened. You can say he's wrong all day long for sitting under the awning, man. I mean, he's a fucking kid, bro. He's a kid when it comes down to it. He's just trying to stay out of the rain. I don't know. My kids would tell another kid to get up and go fucking, even if they were on opposite. Listen, if your kid takes that team shit to that level where he doesn't understand that we're on the field, we're enemies, but other than that, we're just people, and that's the way you raise your kid, you got a raising kids problem. Regardless, I mean, they had a public awning or a privately owned awning by a school, which is public, on public bleachers that were owned by a public school. Makes it public. And you pull up and hook up the trailer. You're changing. That's not what he did. He didn't try to take the motherfucking awning. You're trying to twist it to sound better in your favor. I could make a great argument for you. I thought of 10 minutes ago that would fucking it would totally shut me up. You going down that angle. That's not what he did. He sat down on a set of bleachers at a track meet. And some little prick who wasn't raised right told him to get the fuck up. He didn't belong there, whatever he said to him. At which point the kid warned him, put your hands on me. And they don't say what happened in between then. They don't say if he stood up to walk away or he stood up or what all happened. Apparently he was standing up because he grabbed a knife out of a bag. I guess he could have been sitting down if he practiced a little bit. And then he stabbed the dude. I mean, everybody's forgetting that part of it. He told the dude not to put his hands on him, and the kid put his hands on him. Until then, there was nothing physical. So tell me, prior to that, who was harmed? Prior to him putting his hands on the kid that stabbed him, who was harmed? If you show me that, I might just go with your angle. No, I haven't made my mind up. Well, I took the basis of the facts that I know. I know it was raining, right? I know there was a kid from one school A that sat under school B's awning. I know that. Judging that, he didn't just walk up and stab the kid, right? He didn't just walk over there and stab the motherfucker. He said, "Don't put your hands on me. If you put your hands on me, something's going to happen to you." Then the kid put his hands on him. That wasn't what he was there to do, so he probably was just there to get out of the rain, like they said initially. No, I'm not saying he has free reign. Like you're twisting the argument. You wanted to talk about pulling a trailer or doing. That's not what he did. He sat under a fucking awning at a public school track meet. Well, all those bleachers are public. There's literally an awning and he sat under to get out of the rain. That's what he did. You can't compare that to, hooking up to a trailer, which I would argue that. I would argue the school fucking owns it and you need it and they're not using it. You should be allowed to use it. Fuck yeah, I would argue that. You going to pay for the maintenance cost on it too, though? I guess you pay for that public. Yeah, I'd argue that. I'll stand beside you and argue that. You need your school's trailer, let's go. I'll go argue it with you. It's public. You should be able to use it if they're not using it. Okay, he dared him. I dare you to touch me? I mean, the kid's fucking 16, 17 years old. They got him with the dare. Was he wearing a fucking red helmet? I mean, it wasn't the Special Olympics or no kind of special track meet that I'm aware of. And I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that he dared him to. But with that said, have you made your mind up? I don't know. I mean, my mind always goes to the side of innocence. You know what I mean? Always. That people are not just inherently evil for the most part. Because if he was, he would have just walked over there and stabbed a dude and walked away. I'll go argue with you, man. If you want to argue that, let's go. I'd be happy to. Fuck, we'll take it a step further. We'll argue that we can use their goddamn truck to do it. How about that? You pay for it, you should be able to. But see, we've been built all these systems in these ways where this is how things are done, and this is how they quote unquote authoritize say, and then those with control then dictate how it's used. And if you don't agree with that, they will call the monopoly on force and violence to come set your ass straight. Well, yeah, but Texas mutual combat laws only there are stipulations to that. The only time there's the mutual combat in Texas is a thing is when there's a cop there to referee it. Do you know that? That's a fact. Go look it up. Go look it up. Otherwise, it's not mutual combat. It doesn't matter if you two fucking agree to it. If there's not a cop there to witness the entire thing, start to finish, it's not considered mutual combat. In Texas. I've looked that up before, actually, because I had somebody I wanted to pick a fight with, and I was trying to do everything to make them fight me, and they wouldn't. Back a few years ago when I was a youngster. I'm old now. Old as dirt. Well, I can almost tell you what Jesus was like. I'm not quite that old yet. I know somebody that is. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go down here and finish drilling this damn bolt out. This crankshaft while it's in the car. Fun. I'll have to retap it and probably find a different bolt to fit it. Now I gotta do it quickly. I'm getting sick of working on cars. It don't matter. As soon as this shit is fucking done, I have to work on some other shit. How in the fuck this? I've never changed a harmonic balancer bolt out. Like I said, I've done hundreds of them. I've done 100 of them at least in my life. Never once have I had one break. Especially on the way out. I was backing the bolt out when it broke. And then I drilled it. And of course, it's just a little bit off center. So I'm trying to get it centered back up now. If I get it centered back up, I'll be able to get it out. I'll just drill everything out to the threads and I'll knock it out with a punch. So I gotta go. I gotta work on this damn car. My truck's running good though. That's all I've been driving lately is my white truck. Nope, I got parts for, I need to do that. I got trailer parts in today. I got a light. I got a light. I'm gonna sit you down real quick. I'll go to the light. I'll show you what I got going on with this trailer. I'll grab the light real quick. You sit right there. You sit there and I'll be right. Come on, man, get down. Hey, Christy. Chris. I don't know where the lights are at. I buy head for like weeks at a time. Hey, Christy. Where the headlamps are at? Headlamps. Do you know where the headlamps are at? Right there. No shit. Give me one. Give me one of those. Just give me one of them. Give me mine. I think so. All right, let's go. Oh shit, wrong way. So here's the first thing I got going. This fucking crankshaft bolt, man. I got shit out everywhere now. I'm supposed to rain tomorrow too. So, wah! Look, you're looking at me. Looking at me still. Pow! Crankshaft bolt. But here's what we got going on with the trailer. So, last time I hauled the trailer, I noticed the tires were wearing funny. Really funny. Even though I had them at the right air pressure and shit. So, I pulled the levelers off of it, or the equalizers, or whatever you want to call them. And if you look, that hole is supposed to be round, as is that hole. That one is still pretty round. That one is definitely not round, and that one is definitely not round. So, I had to buy new parts to fix the trailer. It's actually Travis's trailer, but I use it. It's here, so I fix it. So the leveler goes bam right there where those rings are unbolted, which I don't know if the ones I got are going to work because they were a different size, they were a different overall dimension. However, I think they might work. I don't know. I want to go cut them open actually right now. I'm missing a jack. Oh, my kid unjacked, took it off. That's probably why. So I'm going to go cut them open right now because I can do this in the dark. I'm not going to drill the crankshaft out in the dark because I will fuck it up. And if I fuck that up, I'm just scrapping the car. I'm not even worried about it. Told her she's going to have to learn how to drive a 5-speed if I messed it up. Because I'm not putting her up behind the wheel of my truck, my white truck. The white truck's doing actually really good. I'm really happy, man. I'm happy it's back together. It doesn't look any different to you. It looks way different to me, though. Front end's rebuilt. I'm not leaking oil anymore. Last end's rebuilt. Never was leaking oil. We got new springs under it, under the back. New springs on both sides. It runs real good. It's I don't know what was going on with the tune when I first got it out here. So something was up with the tune. It just wasn't running right. We got it worked out. Now we're working on this hunk of shit. .4. But all right, I gotta go. Y'all stay safe. Hold on, but what? It wasn't willing though. The kid obviously didn't want to fight. That's why he said, "If you touch me, something will happen to you." What that something is? Willing hand-to-hand combat is saying, "Hey, bitch, let's go over here and let's slug it out." And that's willing. That's willing. You're entering a fight, knowing that there's nobody's gonna hit you upside the head with a ball bat or a pipe or get stabbed you in the heart with a knife. That's willing. A mutual combat. I don't know. I don't think much is going to happen to the kid. I think that the angle they're going to play, and if they're smart, they will play the angle that the kid had no right to tell him to get out from underneath it. If anything, the kid had no right to tell him to move anyway. The kid had no authority over that awning. He had no authority over the fucking seat where the kid put his ass. He had no authority over anybody. If you want to play the authority game, then the coach is the one that should have said, "Hey, move." And at that point, if he didn't, then it probably would have been up to the coach to get another coach to get him moved. I don't know. I don't think that I wouldn't go as far as to say he's a murderer, but then again, I don't know everything. Like I said in the beginning of this. But I'm not going to say the kid's guilty of murder. Because here's one thing. I'm smart enough to know that everything they tell me either is pushed by a narrative or is a fucking lie. And you should be smart enough to recognize that too, man. What the fuck is my phone doing? You know what I mean? I've never heard he said he dared him to. But even if he dared him to, I dare you to touch me. I mean, even if he says I dare you, how did he say it? Even if he says I dared you to touch me. I want to shoot you in the face. But I dare you to touch me. Are you going to touch me? So either way, you can't go into it saying it's mutual because neither party, the one party didn't know what was going to happen to him. The other party didn't say what was going to happen to him. I don't know, man. Sounds like you got your mind made up. I'm not trying to change your mind though. I just think that these are the good tests about who we really are. You know what I mean? I lean toward innocence on everything because I understand how the system works. I try not to buy into what the TV tells me because the TV was lying to me for fucking years. We know that. You know what I mean? It'll all come out in Discovery, and Discovery will be able to figure out what they're using as facts, whether the facts or not is a fact. But we'll know what they're trying to use as facts. We'll know that shit as soon as they get some Discovery on it. I think them letting him out of bond is pretty telling. And here's you want to know what's real fucked up? They're not going to bound him over as an adult. You know how I know that? Because if they were going to, they wouldn't have let him out. They're planning on bounding him over as an adult. They wouldn't let him out. So they're going to charge him as a juvenile. Okay, he gets juvenile life. He's out at 21. Okay, he fucking murdered somebody. Who cares? He did 4 years for it because somebody wants to call it murder. It's pointless, man. It's just more static to keep us away from the shit that's really important. There's 1,000 other scenarios where the same thing happened. What if that was a cop that went over there to get underneath the umbrella? And the kid told the cop to leave. The cop said, I ain't leaving. I dare you to touch me. And the kid touched him. The cop shot him. Would that be justified then? Well, I think you're wrong about that, man. I don't even know where they're at. That's how much attention. That's how much I paid attention to it. Is it in Texas? Is that where it happened at? Yeah, you can. They don't charge him with the capital crime. You can. I don't even think they charged him with murder yet, did they? I think they only charged him with manslaughter or some shit, didn't they? I could be wrong. I haven't even looked into it to know. I'm just going off of what I do know, which isn't much. What they actually charge him with. Right now, what's he charged with? Not what they talking about charging him with. Yeah, I'm going to let you in a little secret in life, guys. A lot of people don't know this. I'm not treating, you 5 people like you're retarded. Don't think that. However, if you have braking issues with your older vehicle, it just don't stop like you think it should. Here's what you do to fix that. All these rubber lines everywhere, vehicle, change them. I changed my front ones, drastically increased the braking ability of it. I still got the back ones to do. I didn't do the back ones because somebody did some redneck shit back here. I'm not going to climb around there and show you, but they did some redneck shit I got to fix still. And I just haven't went and bought the line to do it. I have the rubber lines for the back ones. When I do that, it'll break. I bet it breaks 50% better than what it does. It runs good now, though. I'm really happy with it. So I don't know if I showed y'all this. So when this truck, when it broke down, it didn't break down. I broke a bunch of shit. I broke the springs out of it in October, out of the rear end of it. I torqued the truck so bad, it broke the springs out of the passenger side. It torqued the truck itself so bad, the bed got bent up so bad, it twisted the truck so bad in doing so. Because I think we went over the scales that day, man. I want to say it was like 26 or 27,000 pounds. The truck only weighs 8 or 9. So that means I was pulling, what, 17,000, 16,000, something like that. Which is way over than what this truck's supposed to pull. On a bumper at that, I had it hooked up to the reach hitch. So it'd be considered a bumper pull, frame pull. Anyway, when I torqued the truck so bad, and I have my toolboxes bolted to the bed, straight to the bed. Look how bad it cracked them. That thing was not there before that shit happened. It broke the toolbox all the way halfway through it. Yeah, it cranked it up. So we twisted it up pretty good. I gotta fix my toolbox. It's bothering me. It's broke. But right now I gotta go fix this. I gotta work on my work on the trailer too. Gotta get this shit done. So y'all have a good night. Stay safe and done. Listen, don't go under somebody else's awning. Don't dare them or tell them if they touch you, you're going to do something. Don't say, I dare you to put your hands on me. And, I mean, don't stab them. There's 1,000 other cases, man, where if we talked about this in a different light, that everybody would be okay with it. I'm convinced of that. I don't know why this is on. Dim out computer, you're not supposed to be on. Hell, we're going to cars and trailers and shit, so I got to go. Stay safe.